The finals just got another major update around the server situations. We also have to look at some of the launch statistics and how those kind of played out. And additionally, there's some drama that's been going around on both the Discord as well as the Reddit and just kind of the whole game in general. Which also leads us into some other developer updates, including the little Xbox hotfix. We got a lot to talk about. What's up, world? Should be back if they're checking on all things the finals. We'll jump right into the server situation because there's been a ton of confusion there, and even from my last video to this video. So OCE and SA console players have been having difficulties with these servers by selecting or not being able to select the OCE and SA servers. Now, Embark Dusty over on the Discord here has a long post about detailing what's going on about that situation. He's also going to go over some of the bannings that have been happening too, so stay for that as well. Now again, he went over that you can't select the OCE and the SA servers, but you can play in them, and he went exactly over what is happening. Now, why can't I select the OCE or SA servers? He said the UI does not currently allow you to select these servers as your region yet. However, they are working on a fix. They're just waiting for council. It looks like approval, so we can send it through, and you'll see that on the patch notes when that happens. And if you didn't know or kind of new to this, the councils actually do have a slower patch rate. The reason being is that they need to be approved through multiple channels, especially when it pertains to both of them. So Sony and Microsoft both have to verify it before it gets patched. Now, this is why sometimes you'll see patches come out on PC first, or you'll see that they're talking about a fix they can't deploy yet. There's a lot of little nuances there, but that's exactly what's kind of happening with that. They also addressed people getting put in other regions or being placed in other regions when they queue. Now, if they said that if you're not playing during peak hours and you have auto regions selected, you will end up in a different region to aid in faster matchmaking. Now, they did go on to say here that this is a feature and not an actual bug, and even when the UI or when they fix the UI, they still recommend that you play on auto region for faster matchmaking experiences. Now, this is probably not going to pertain to people in NA per se, but this will pertain to people along those outside borders, as well as Europe and a few other places. And I'm sure you guys know who you are, who are getting kind of selected in different regions and putting in different places. Now, this situation here is a little bit out of my domain, so if you have any experience with this stuff, if you're in Europe or any of these other countries that kind of have troubles getting placed in different regions with the matchmaking, please put a comment down below and kind of describe your experience with that so you can let other people know and so they can kind of reference that. As yeah, I have no reference point with this. I don't know how this is functioning, where you're at, or where the kind of locale is. Now, they also addressed why console players are having a difficulty finding ranked matches. And they actually went over here, they just said it. Too few console players have unlocked the official ranked mode. So you might have a hard time finding games. For a better chance, make sure you turn on crossplay. However, as we went over before, crossplay is enabled. However, it does prioritize your platform. So again, I think both parties kind of got what they wanted in that scenario there. However, with ranked, yeah, it does seem like you might have to queue up with some PC players as the console players just haven't unlocked it yet. I do think the requirement that they have for the unlocked for ranked a little too big right now. I think they could narrow it or kind of lessen it just a little bit. Now, they shouldn't go overboard with that, and I'm sure they don't want to for specific reasons, especially with some Smurf stuff and some other things there with that, and some kind of like hacking and dealing with that stuff. However, overall, it does seem like it's a little bit too much at the moment. Now, there has been a ton of postings about account bans, and I've been seeing this a lot lately on the Reddit. Some people have been getting falsely banned, and it's super unfortunate there with all that stuff. However, they did go over that and address that here. So to anyone with an account ban, we are chasing false bans. We have fixed some of the issues. Please give it a try and restart your client. After that, if you are still banned, let them know that you are still banned and why you should not be. Right into player support so we can handle your case. Now, they do clarify here that if you do go through their support, you got to provide your Embark ID, as it's a much faster way for them. So I'm going to include the link down below, which is reachthefinals.com/support. So if you have been banned and you're at this video, go down to that link down below, provide them with your ID and why you shouldn't have been banned. And they did mention here too that if you've already wrote in, they just sit tight and they're working on the list. So it seems like even if you do make a second support ticket, it's probably not going to be useful because it's going to be put down in the bottom of the line. Or at least that's how I would assume that it's going to go. So if you haven't had your ticket ready yet, I would just wait on that. They said they have some fun things planned in the future and probably hopefully some Christmas stuff going on here soon. Which, I mean, during beta they had Halloween stuff, so I do assume that they're going to have some stuff for Christmas as well. Now, we do have to go over one of the controversies in the topics that I went over in my last video because it's still getting brought up. And there was a moderator post that was posted on the actual Reddit. However, it has been since taken down or removed from its pinned place. So, of course, this is a bit touchy with this overall. However, people are still asking to have a region or ping lock, especially for China. Now, there was some stuff there, especially with the mods, thought that maybe it went a little overboard in that category. And I'm sure it did with some stuff, especially when it's specifically to a certain region. However, I think most people can agree that there does need to be some sort of ping limiter that applies to everyone across the board, and not just to any specific region, but to all of them. And you'll see screenshots here of various people on the leaderboards and kind of how they're taking over, and yeah, it's just not looking good overall. Some of it might be a meme at this point, but it doesn't really look like it, and yeah, this kind of stuff is getting really out of hand. It looks like this discussion was also held a lot on the actual Discord, as well as kind of pre-beta and in the beta itself. There's a lot of examples here. People use like PUBG as an example. I would say Tarkov's another really good example of this. And someone pointed out here, just kind of like with CSGO, they have an IMEI or a phone number verification system, which they said region lock, ping lock, hardware bans when discovered, phone number verification, and IMEI phone-based app login verification, which I do agree there should be a couple of these things, or if not all of these things here, especially the phone verification and the ping and region locks, especially, and the hardware ID bans, right? Now, some of that stuff can be evaded. There's different routes on that stuff. We don't have to go into details there with that. However, there definitely should be some sort of locking here, as this is not going to look good for player numbers in the future, and I really do think it's going to be detrimental for the game. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see on all that stuff there. Try to keep it civil with this stuff, and we'll just kind of discuss around the actual region lock stuff and not pertain to any kind of specific. And we also have to go over some of the stats from the finals overall, and as well as what's kind of going on with the actual game stats, as well as just player numbers in general and how the game is faring. Now, as of right now, the finals is still sitting at number 5 on most played for Steam. Again, it's got some heavy hitters in front of it like CSGO, Dota 2, PUBG, and GTA 5. And GTA 5 kind of took off right now because of the whole GTA 6 trailer, but those numbers probably will drop a little bit after the next few weeks. It does look like Apex has it with 24-hour peaks, however, the finals holds more consistent numbers. And even as of yesterday, the finals was actually the #1 trending game on Steam. And even as of right now, it's still on Steam's homepage, which will definitely fare well for advertisement, as having it at the homepage of Steam is definitely very good for that. And just a last minute mentionable, as I was kind of doing this video and doing the audio for this video, Nvidia just dropped a new update. And this does also include the finals as their forefront header here, so there is the finals fixes. Looking through the patch notes very quickly, I don't see anything that pertains to the finals exactly, and mostly probably just like an advertisement for the game through Nvidia's platform. However, they do denote here that DLSS 3 technology is included in the finals. I'm pretty sure this was there on launch day, so this is kind of nothing new with that. However, I'm not totally sure, as I have a 2000 series GPU, so I don't have one of the 4000 series, so I wasn't able to test if FrameGen or even DLSS 3.0 was working in that. However, of course, DLSS 3.5 and 3.0 still technically works on 2000 series. We just don't have access to the new features. So if FrameGen is there and if it was working, please let me know on that stuff. All in all, that should about cover for today's video with everything. I'll include all the links down below, and even the Nvidia patch, and as well as the patch notes for that recent gyro update. But if you enjoyed today's video, like and subscribe, and until next, deuces.